Exciting, isn't it? Nerve-wracking and exciting as well. I want to echo Spencer's thanks and gratitude for your coming. Didn't quite anticipate this turnout, if I'm wholly honest with you. It's really wonderful. And really, when we reflect on the start point of the journey, I don't think any of us quite anticipated getting to the point today where we have, where we'd actually have a centre that we were opening. The start point was really quite narrow in its focus. We did a clinical trial at university 4 or 5 years ago, trialling a new form of brain stimulation for Parkinson's. And the trial was really good, really successful. It was actually the first time that I'd really spent proper time with people who have Parkinson's. Before that, I was looking at other neurological conditions. The trial we did was a great success. It brought improvements in the quality of life to those who have Parkinson's. Got lots of national news headlines and so forth. But it wasn't really the headline. The real news story actually wasn't quite so positive. And the real news story that we took from spending time with people who have Parkinson's actually is that their needs within the community are not met as satisfactorily as they would like. So their access to drug therapy to help replace the dopamine that they lose in their brains was good. Good access to their neurologist, good access to their GP, particularly to the Parkinson's nurses. But Parkinson's is a multifaceted condition that requires a multifaceted treatment approach, and that means not just having drugs to manage aspects of the condition. It's about having access to what we call non-drug therapies as well, which seem to be just as important. So these non-drug therapies are things that you will know, things like physiotherapy to help with movement and mobility, group exercise, and massage to likewise help with mobility, psychotherapy and counselling to help people manage their journeys, occupational therapy to help people make use of what skills and abilities they have to really achieve the most that they can with their lives, and speech and language therapy to help people with communication and swallowing difficulties. All these different non-drug therapies seem to be just as important for people who have Parkinson's. The problem that we found out is that they're really, really hard to reach. For some people, they can access them, but unfortunately it just takes a very long time with the waiting list before they can finally get Thanks for that. So the non-drug therapies are particularly important to help manage those aspects that the drug therapies can't. But they are so difficult to find. The waiting lists within the NHS are very, very long, and for some people actually they're completely out of reach. So this was the kind of news story really from the trial we did, and we scratched our heads and thought, well, we need to carry on developing this new intervention, this new treatment, but if we're really going to work with people who have Parkinson's, we need to address this much bigger, broader need, which is really about trying to find a way to put all these different therapies under one roof so people can come and access them and use them much more freely and much more easily. So that's what we tried to do here. We brought them all under one roof, and of course, once you bring all these different therapies under one roof, you can start to integrate them. So you can start to produce individualised, personalised care plans for people. You can help them better with their self-management, and you can give them home-based programs to do as well. Everything just becomes a lot more easier to manage for those who have Parkinson's. And of course, once you have a clinical service, you can wrap research and education around that service. We do believe that any clinical service will be its best if it's supported by research. So to that end, we'll be developing new forms of intervention and new forms of assessment for Parkinson's here in the centre. Likewise, it's very important that we educate the next generation of healthcare practitioners and scientists in how to really look after Parkinson's, which is about giving them a clearer sense about the community that we have here and all the different non-drug therapies that need to be coupled with the really important drug therapies. So we'll have placement students come from Canterbury Christchurch to offer speech and language support. We'll have placement students from the University of Kent to come and offer massage services as well. So it will be a hub of educational and research activity as well as clinical activity. But beyond all that formal stuff, hopefully you can see downstairs there's just a fantastic social open space. And members need to make use of this, and really, ideally, we want a social community beyond all the stuff that we offer. Francis is here, one of our early supporters. I understand enjoys a drop of wine. Let's get him to come here and run a wine tasting session. I'm sure we can grab a few bottles of wine from the supermarket. Chris, who we're going to link up with shortly in the Himalayas, loves walking. Let's get a walking group to start from here. There's some fantastic walking trails around. Yeah, we want the members to come and own the centre and to really use it socially as well as for its more formal opportunities. So I'll be blunt, we've got 18 months worth to showcase this centre. At the moment, the budget that we have will see us through for 18 months. So during that time, we've got to demonstrate to the NHS commissioners and to other external funders and to donors, philanthropists, that this place is worth investing in to give it that long-term sustainability. Because once we get the blueprint right here, we can roll the blueprint out across the whole country. This is how you manage Parkinson's. And the truth is, it's probably not only Parkinson's, is it? Because the long-term care needs of people who have Parkinson's actually has significant overlap with other neurological conditions, not least multiple sclerosis, but dementia, brain injury. There are similarities. And I think in the fullness of time, although Parkinson's now is closest to our heart and it's what we'll focus on, in the fullness of time, perhaps we need to be having broader frontiers and thinking about a centre which offers the blueprint that we've developed here for Parkinson's to all forms of neurological condition. Because frankly, the more people you talk to, the more artificial that provision becomes. So that's the ambition. Roll this out and broaden it. But we've got to get off the runway. And that's, I guess, why I returned to my first point, which was to thank you for all coming and to be grateful for you coming, because the information and the encouragement and the guidance and comment as I look around the room that so many of you have given us is going to be no less important now in getting us off the runway into the long-term future. So you must stay a part of this journey now, having joined it. We need all of you in one way or another to support us, to tell us what's good, to tell us what's not so good, and to make sure this is the asset which I know it can be. So thank you very much for coming. I feel very privileged that you're proud.